Introducing your hosts from Collingwood, Ontario, Canada, Jack Edwards, and his partner from Dallas, Texas, by way of Port Arthur, Texas, Big George. Together, they are the North-South Connection.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. It's been a minute.
Better than ever.
Better than ever. Right. Good spirits. We're the North-South Connection. I'm Jack Edwards, and that's Big George. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our hiatus. We connected in Kansas City, George. All the fun.
Absolutely an experience. Absolutely
awesome.
Definitely won't take anything back from Kansas City. It's one of the most beautiful places if you ever been there. I don't know very many people who would say, "Oh, Kansas City is beautiful." No, it's a pretty. It's a nice spot. So
beautiful place.
I think
even in the rain.
Even in the rain, it's still pretty cool. I think once you kind of get in the city, you have to learn to enjoy the lay of the land and understand that you have to pick your barbecue spot. I think I picked mine. Y'all have y'all's, and that's that. I think that's where we draw lines.
Let's get into that. Which one did you like? We tried two, right? So we had two.
Mm-hmm.
So which one did you prefer?
Jack Stack.
Yeah, Jack Stack, huh?
Jack Stack over Gates.
And why was that? What did you like?
Look, for me, it was the meat that I chose, and I feel like they did a really good job of the cut of the meat. It tasted really good. They sauced, went really well, complimented the food really good. I'm a pickles guy, so they offered me pickles right off the rip. I'll ask for extra because I like pickles. So
yeah, I saw. Yeah, you do like pickles. Give me extra pickles. All right.
Like I do it every time. Like let me get extra pickles, which is a weird thing for most people. It's like, oh, why do you like pickles so much? I don't know. It's just I like flavor. So there's that. But no, Kansas City are a great place. Those beans at Jack Stack will make you.
They're wonderful.
They'll make you kiss.
I brought them all the way home. I brought them all the way home to Canada. Like I had them the next night. Aaron's like, they're okay.
Immaculate.
They were fantastic. That was mighty. Shout out to whoever Dale. I don't know who our Uber driver was. I forget the name of the guy. But
which one?
I called him all day.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We took so many Ubers that weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It was insane. I think that one of the things about Kansas City that I really loved is that it's not like any place that I've ever been. Because in the South here in Texas, of course, it's not as hilly unless you're in Dallas. It can get a little hilly, but not as hilly as Kansas City is. So I felt like I was driving in a maze half the time, but it was just like, it is what it is. But I enjoyed the time that I was there. Definitely would go back. The atmosphere of Chiefs Kingdom is one to be felt, not heard.
Oh,
it's one to be felt. Like
shout out to that cornbread.
Man, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of people that we ran into that we can say shout out to. I can't say shout out to the person I want to say shout out to the most because I don't want to get this man in trouble and I don't want to get myself in trouble because, of course, that would be evil. So I don't want to do that. But I think we had so much fun in Kansas City. It was just like a good time everywhere we went. I really enjoyed the game. Like Monday night overtime and an overtime win in Kansas City. Ain't nothing like it.
Undefeated at Arrowhead. Undefeated. 2-0.
Right after the game, we all left. We all drove back to our respective countries. And I can say country because Texas is like a place of its own in every aspect of the word. So, it's its own thing. But I drove back that night, and I'm going to tell you, the next day, I was a body. I was tired, so I was out of there. But I had a good time, and I enjoyed myself. I think, like I say, I definitely wouldn't mind going back. It's not that bad of a drive, actually. It's just got to cut out the time in the day. But Kansas
Yeah.
City was fun. I think I enjoyed everything about it. I mean, being in Chiefs Kingdom while everything is actually happening is actually one of the most amazing things that you can actually be a part of. I
Yeah.
can't stress it enough. Like the whole building is an experience. Like from the parking lot and the tailgates to the game inside to the pro shop to you name it, you got it.
It
It's
was
like
awesome.
one of the coolest places on earth. And I live down the street from Jerry World, so that's saying something. So, but one of the best places I've ever actually experienced a football game at. So I think that's one thing I can hang my hat on. I bought a whole bunch of shit and brought it home. Like it's a little bit of piece of Kansas City all up in my house. So we doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. No,
But
listen, like I had a great time. Like I I'm a big fan of Gates Barbecue and I love the burnt end sandwich. I don't think not as much as the ginger Adonis because he had 4 of them in like 24
you know what's funny? You say that, and I noticed just right when you said that, every time I seen him in that room sitting down, he was eating a fucking burnt end
burnt end
sandwich.
sandwich.
Like it was like they just kept coming out of somewhere. Like, are you pulling the fuckers out the wall? Like, where is shit's coming from? So it was just
He
it was,
loves
it
that.
was
He loved that sandwich, and rightfully so. That shit is good. Like,
no, it's
oh my
immaculate. It's
god,
immaculate.
I
It's
had a
just
couple
wonderful.
myself, and I was happy with that choice. So, like it was, yeah, it was great, and but yeah, it was a long drive home. It was a really long drive home. We didn't get home till like 5 o'clock the next day, so it was 5 o'clock Tuesday. So we drove all night, and but it was, I mean, like that game was ridiculous.
It was
Like,
worth every
and we were
minute.
right
Like
in the right place. The D Hop catch was right in our thing. The touchdown.
like
I got a
every
video of the
touchdown.
touchdown
What
catch,
I got
the
so many
winning
videos on my
touchdown.
phone. I got to edit screaming out of because
Yeah,
it was just
it's
immaculate, man. It was
insanity.
a great experience. Like
Yeah,
it was everything it needed to be.
and the food, even like the place. I forget the name of the diner. Kareem will, if Kareem
Winifred,
comes on here, he'll tell him.
is it Winifred's?
Winifred's?
I think it's
I don't know
something
if
like
it was
that.
Winifred's. It's
I don't.
something like that. But
It's something like
anyway,
that.
yeah,
Winfield.
chocolate shakes were unbelievable. Burgers were good too. So
So
yeah, like
I put it to you like this. All right. So one of the things about Texas and Kansas City, I can go ahead and dead is that it's just bigger portion sizes, honestly, everywhere. Like the only thing I not
we're in
necessarily
Texas.
complained about was just like, this is it. This is all the food. Like I felt like I'm not saying I paid too much for what I asked for, but at the same time, I was just like, okay, I'll take it.
Wow.
So it did the
Listen,
job.
I was, yeah, it certainly did. It was a great experience. It was nice to get a bit of a break from work and stuff, and it was fun. And then
Absolutely. Definitely
yeah,
rejuvenated. Definitely feel,
yeah,
really, really good
and
about
like you
being
said,
back, man.
Chiefs Kingdom. Shout out to I think it's G29. The ladies, they're flying that Croatian flag high, and they invite us over for shrimp boil or whatever or the hell, and some
Yeah.
potatoes and some cornbread that just was, I think, is crack cocaine. I think you
They
actually,
had this spicy dip. I ain't gonna lie. I'd almost say fuck the
yeah,
game and sat there and ate that all day, but I was already kind of full. Like I had already been eating everything. I felt like fucking Pac-Man from the
yeah.
parking lot. I just kept eating. Like it was just
I was just
yeah,
eating
nah.
whatever I could. Yeah,
It was good though. But of course, like I say,
it
the
was awesome.
experience is something that you got to go and see yourself. Like I don't know if there's another Monday night game that I haven't looked at, but if you ever get
Yeah,
the opportunity to go, bro, just do it. Like I don't care if
that's
you're a fan or
amazing.
not. Like it's gonna be an experience. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah,
We sat next to
it's
Bucks fans.
worth it. It's
Like they were in good
we're
spirits all into
great.
that loss.
Yeah,
My man's was
yeah.
talking
The
trash
guy in
too.
front
Like
of us. Yeah,
yeah, he was talking
he
trash.
was almost happy.
Yeah,
He
no,
was almost happy. Yeah, he was
he was
good though. I shook his hand and said, "Good game, fella. Like, I mean,
yeah.
great game.
No,
You know,
he's a
what
great
a game."
sport. Him and his old
Like,
lady was there. Like they sat there and they
yeah,
had a good
Yeah, they were good.
set of seats, and they was just like enjoying the atmosphere. And I think everybody kind of like I say, Chiefs Kingdom kind of ties
What's
in,
up,
and they
Chris?
kind
How's
of
it
all
going?
kind of do their thing. Like it's it's
Yeah.
it's an environment. It's a fun. Like I went to other football games that same weekend, and I can honestly say there's nothing like Chiefs Kingdom. Like honestly say that.
Nothing.
So true be
Yeah,
told, I
it's
think that
so.
in the near future, like maybe um in a couple months here, might set up something else. I don't know. It just kind of depends on how everything looks. Because I definitely probably, if I can get back out there in January, if we got some home games and the playoffs in January, I get a little, I get a little excited sometimes.
Look,
I spend some money. I'll go.
you know, you're not going to be able to handle that cold. There's no there's no way.
You buy a jacket
You
in Kansas City.
yeah,
That's it.
you can buy all the jacket you want.
Hey,
Like,
hey, we
listen,
good.
that
The
ain't
heat on in
63
my
degrees.
hotel. My hotel room could be 95. I don't give a damn. I will burn. I'll bring a space heater. I'd go. It'd be like I say. It'd be just another experience. Like
Well,
be in there.
yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. But George, there's been a lot of talk in the NFL right now about referees. It's all about the refs. Blame the refs. The refs did a hell of
Yeah,
a job
man.
blocking that kick.
Yeah, no. The refs came out there and blocked that kick. They told the left guard
Yeah,
on the Broncos side to fall straight back and get in a
shit in
horrible
bed.
stance. Everybody who played football, who ever watched a comment about that, said the exact same thing. I don't know what the fuck he was doing because nobody. Like I was like, I mean, why is he almost like he's almost standing straight up, like he was poised to get pushed back.
But
So I don't know.
but for blaming the refs, but so you decided,
Oh yeah,
let's talk about guest referees.
because if we could have
The
a guest
best
referee in
guest
the NFL,
referees.
we would. But right now, we're talking, in history of wrestling, of course, there's these guest referees that everybody kind of just like would say that was the one
But
that was successful.
guest referees in the NFL would be fucking awesome. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, your guest referee is Gronk. Like,
Broncos,
yeah, man.
hey, we need to patent that. Hell no. I don't want nobody to watch this and say, you know what? Let's have a special guest referee, an old NFL player who can see something different than what the man. Hell no. I doubt they'll do it, but that'd be something to patent. But no,
Hey
special guest
Rock,
referees.
hey Rock, the UFL, you got to put it in. Bring it
Whatever
from
that is.
wrestling. Be the real XFL for God's sake.
Special guest referees.
You know,
They can
like,
only call certain
yeah,
penalties.
bring it. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, coming out now, Barry Sanders. Holy shit!
Barry Sanders is a ref. Like the ref takes off running. The ref still got a great ass 40. Like what? What? That'd be insane. But nah.
He's dodging tacklers. What the fuck is he doing?
Like,
But anyway,
what the
guest
ref-
referees.
We're here to talk wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.
I love this topic of guest referees, George, and so we all know the rules. George and I rotate picks, and then we'll put together the top 5 in the honorable mentions. So, George, kick it off. Who is your first pick for guest referee?
My first pick for special guest referee, and of course, he's not a celebrity in the sense of actual world celebrity.
And it can be a celebrity or wrestler, whatever you choose,
But
right?
he's barely a wrestler. I mean, he's a wrestler. You can say he's a wrestler. But Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is going out there first as my first special guest referee because Shane was more entertaining as a special guest referee than anybody else, in my opinion. Simply because we knew Shane was going to get involved in the match at some point. So you didn't have to worry about the ref taking a bump. But you didn't also have to worry about the ref taking a bump and not getting up because Shane was a little scrappy. Shane always did. But Shane always went over the top. Like Shane always made it to where, look, somebody's gonna win. And there was times where Shane got knocked out and had to get back up and had to fake like he was just gonna, be able to count and all that good stuff. So I would say Shane McMahon is my number one in this particular sense because Shane was a great guest referee. He was fun. He was entertaining. He can take a bump. He can actually get up and roll with the punches. Of course, with him being Vince McMahon's son, some of those special guest referee opportunities wasn't always in his benefits. So, I think that was just kind of something that, we kind of seen throughout the years of, Shane kind of growing on the business. But like I say, I put Shane in there.
All right. Well, my pick is going in a bit of a different direction. It's a guy who I think his reputation brought credibility to a match as a referee, and that's Ken Shamrock in WrestleMania 13 with Austin and Brett.
Great pick.
I think, I don't know what size that T-shirt was that he was wearing, but Ken looked great. And
he had the sleeves cut off and everything, just big as shit. He was like an action figure.
And shout out to Ken. Like I don't know. I've told the story. I got the opportunity to book Ken and got to hang with him for like the entire weekend, and he was awesome. And he was like, when he was here, he was yoked. I actually have a picture on my social media. My kids it's my wife, my kids, and Ken Shamrock. And I should have sent it out as my Christmas card, but because Ken is just jacked to the gills. Like Ken is he's jacked, man. He's awesome. And but Ken's like, he's the nicest guy. Like he was a nice guy, very mild mannered. Came in and but Ken as the referee here was like, because I knew him from I watched UFC back then. I used to rent the videos. Mm-hmm. Ken, but they were bringing him in. Like he had been in the Indies years ago, went to UFC, and now they're bringing him in. But like, because he had a background in submission, and it was a submission match, and it just like it made sense. It made like that referee made sense, and Ken didn't do a lot because they just let him go. But just his presence there was like, that's the ref you're not going to screw with,
right?
Like you're not going to screw with Ken Shamrock. Like the referee's going to be like, he's good. He called it down the middle. He was serious, and he was like, and Austin even said it when he talked to her. He's like, I thought Shamrock brought a lot of star power to that. Like he brought some star power to that match, and I think he did a great job. And like shout out Ken. Ken's awesome, and like I put him on the list of great referees because he brought so much to that match. Which I think for me is it's my favorite match of all time. To me, that match is just that's professional wrestling. That's that crowd, that atmosphere, just everything looked good. It looked snug. It wasn't hokey. It didn't, it made sense. And I don't mind comedy and wrestling, don't get me wrong. But like that was a championship fight. That was a championship. That was like wrestling equivalent to like a Gotti Ward, like which is like my favorite boxing match of all time. Gotti Ward won. It's like that. It's like a scrap. It's just, and that's, and I love that. Like I love a good scrap, hockey fights, the whole deal. And that's what that match was. So I had Ken Shamrock. Number on the list. So who's next?
I think we got to go celebrity now. I think we all
celebrity.
We all knew this one was coming.
Yeah.
The legendary Mike Tyson, of course.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's got a.
Mike Tyson.
You want to talk about star power?
Like he brought so much star power to that match, and I don't even think it needed that much star power, but just to bring that much more to it made it that great of a match. Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, and then you got Mike Tyson, as a special guest referee. What else do you need? The house was packed, baby. Like, and then Mike, everybody wanted to see Mike punch somebody. That's all they wanted to really see. Like, nobody really gave a fuck about the match halfway through. No, somebody was like, who is going to get punched by Mike Tyson? And that's what we look for. Like, it was a great part of the show. I think that was a really good highlight as far as, that match actually being a good turn for the DX kind of brand as far as them, kind of being the upsweep bad boys. They was kind of being overtaken by Austin at that point. The Austin era was actually kind of popping off at that point. So, you kind of had to kind of build into that. And Mike Tyson, I feel like, helped that too.
It's one of the best guest referee bookings ever. Like, it's just because of the impact. Like, Mike Tyson at the time was the biggest athlete in the world. Like, I don't think anybody was bigger than Mike Tyson, any singular athlete. And like to get him in that world in any form or fashion, but as a referee, an outside enforcer to make sure things, and maybe he's going to cheat, who knows? But like just his presence again, like just brought so much at a time when the WWF needed it. It was like by WrestleMania 14, they were ready. They were doing this, and Tyson just brought so much star power. He was entertaining as hell. Like he's Cold Stone. He never got his name right. Never even close.
No, didn't care.
But like,
did not care.
And then you hear the stories of like Mike Tyson, like, Mick Foley was like, Mike Tyson was like awesome, like, so that's good. Like, and I mean, I said to my wife today, I can't believe it's the week of a Mike Tyson fight. It's 2024. What are we doing? What's going on now? This is insane. But
I ain't got nothing to do on that day too. I was thinking about going ahead and give me a ticket and going to see Mike, see what he had left. But
yeah,
in my mind, I'm just like, I can't watch it. I already know what it's gonna be.
Yeah. So I gotta go. I think George, next up for the guest referee has to be Shawn Michaels. And because he's really good and he's been like a guest referee 300 times, I think. I know he's had a lot of spots, but the two I remember most are the 1997 SummerSlam with The Undertaker and Bret Hart, where he was the guest referee and he walloped Bret with a chair. And then the 2000 Judgment Day when The Undertaker came back with the Iron Man match between The Rock and Triple H. Like that was, those were good. And he did other spots, of course, but he was like, to me, those were the best, spots for Shawn Michaels as a referee. And I mean, he's great in the ring and he was a fantastic ref. Like, I mean, one of the shortest shorts in the history of the business. Like,
I think he looked like a basketball player in the 80s. Like,
and it's a short ass sword.
Like, it was terrible, but it was very fun to have Michaels in there too. Because I think, like you say, he kind of brings the dynamics to some of those matches that you didn't necessarily think that was going to be. Like him having the beef with Bret Hart and being the special guest referee.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Money. Because one,
that's what Seth Rollins did.
So they had
the same thing with Rollins.
So I think that actually worked out very, very well. So no, I'm not refuting that at all. So I'm down with that.
Number 5. So George, like, who are the couple people we got for the 5th in this thing? Like, who we talking?
I'm hanging my hat on my 5th. I'm gonna throw him in there, and of course, like I said, you can accept or deny him. I'm throwing The Rock in there. Special guest.
The Rock,
The Rock. That man was hilarious. Like, him not wanting to count was absolutely outstanding. Triple H was so pissed off. Like, count the match. Good job. Like, The Rock is fantastic. Like, took the match over as a special guest referee. So I'm just saying, like, that's my 5th because he was just he was in there. He made it about him.
Well, there's a couple here that I'm gonna put out there. One, Steve Austin, I think, had like the Battle of the Billionaires with Austin as the ref when he was the ref with the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match, where nobody gave
it. I think in that situation, he had no choice but to have Stone Cold in that. Lesnar versus Goldberg match. What would that match would have been without Steve Austin?
Oh, that would have been horrible. It would have been a nice night for Earl Hebner.
Worst. Earl, I don't know if Earl would have took that shit. Like, Earl was one of them. He was one of them fights.
Like, I'm leaving. Fuck this shit. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was like, guys, I gotta wrap this up. because everybody came down on that match, and if it wasn't for Austin being there,
Uh,
that probably
so-
would have been a riot. So,
and then I don't know if he's going to be like in the top 5. Like when you talk about, part of referee job too, guest ref is star power and impact. And I don't think Muhammad Ali.
right,
is,
Muhammad
you
Ali
don't
was
get big
one of
as-
the. He's one of the.
And I
most
love that he
famous-
was. He was the most famous man on the planet.
Like,
But he actually he got in and started swinging at Roddy.
yeah.
I'm like, and I
So-
know he was only the outside of the ring, and he didn't do anything. And Pat Patterson told the story, but I mean, like, you got to, if you talk about great special guest referees and their presence and what they bring, Ali's on the list. Like you talk about stars like Austin, The Rock, and Ali. Like, Jesus.
Some matches you have to kind of understand, like some of these special guest referees aren't always the great focal point that you want them to be. Some of them kind of take their job a little too serious at points. Another referee I can throw in there is Mick Foley, simply because I know Mick
Foley
Foley
was really good. Yeah.
He took a lot of good bumps.
Ooh.
Mick Foley was actually
He was good in the match.
Referee.
He was good in that McMahon versus McMahon match.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I know he was there. He was in the Austin Rock match at WrestleMania 15 as well. He did a couple
Didn't
big
he
spots.
referee a match with Randy Orton?
He probably did. I think he did. I don't remember which one. So
Yeah, it was one of the matches that where they were
But-
feuding back then. But yeah, no.
so I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, those are some big names. You could put any one of them on there, and they all had great. So I don't know, George. I mean, who you really who you think out of the 4? Your list. So who would you pick out of those 4 people? Austin, The Rock, Ali, and Mick Foley.
I think for this list, it has to be one person. You got to solidify with Muhammad Ali
Ali, huh? Yeah, okay.
because it kind of puts the special guest as far as it
Yeah, he is a special guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and there was none bigger than him and Tyson. But
no, like
everybody else on this list, I think there were no celebrities bigger than them at the time.
Yeah, well, Shane was as over as like Shane. At the time when Shane was doing the guest referee stuff, Shane was as like hot as a heel as like most anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Ken Shamrock. I like Ken Shamrock still belongs on the list just because he had a real impact. You could physically you could see he didn't do anything, but just he was there. And I just loved what he brought to that match. I think he deserves to be recognized for that work. And he was like the security guard when they went into the fucking crowd because nobody was going to fuck with Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, nobody's taking this.
You had to be hella drunk.
Yeah, Kim was just playing half the time, and he was having fun.
Yeah,
and it looked like he was trying to kill a motherfucker. So,
but yeah, Tyson, of course, I think, and Shawn Michaels and Muhammad Ali. So that's the top 5. So the honorable mentions, George, we got to go. We obviously Steve Austin, The Rock, and Mick Foley. So we each got one more. I got one. I got to throw in there. I gotta put. I gotta put Mr. Perfect. He was the referee at WrestleMania 10, and he only did it once. But I gotta put him for a couple of reasons. He came out with the all-stripe jumpsuit, and he got a huge babyface reaction. He ended up turning heel, and he was like, I was the perfect referee." I just loved the what he brought to the match there. So I would add Mr. Perfect as my honorable mention.
Okay, I can see that. I don't want to be that guy, but I think it kind of deserves to be said. John Cena.
John Cena, yeah, absolutely.
John Cena. I'm not necessarily not trying to put John Cena on these lists. I'm honestly giving these lists
No.
great thought because I think John Cena could come up in a lot of these, but it's like Ric Flair and Triple H and The Rock. It can come up every week if we did this. So, but John Cena is definitely on this list simply because him as a special guest referee, at this point now, and even in his earlier part of careers, he was still doing a little work here. He was a outside celebrity, inside celebrity. So him being a special guest referee at any point in his career, after the Doctor of Thugonomics, of course, was the height of his
Yeah.
career. I mean, he was probably one of the most popular humans on the planet at one point in the year.
Yeah.
So there's those years that John Cena actually did a lot of good things, of course. So him as a special guest referee, I'll take that. Honorable mention, of course.
Honorable mention. So, ladies and gentlemen, George, like, where do you rank these folks? So we got Shane, Ken, Mike Tyson, Shawn Michaels, and Muhammad Ali. Who's 5? Who's 4? Who's 3? Who's 2?
At number 5, I'm gonna walk in and put Muhammad Ali in there. And that might be taking a dip, but I think, because everybody else above him was more active in the match,
Yes.
that would
Tyson.
kind of make him. Tyson
Yeah,
wasn't,
I agree.
but Tyson
But-
also kind of made more of an impact with what he did, and that's more memorable. That was more memorized. Like everybody knew that moment as him being a special guest referee.
And I think I will argue that I don't think there's ever been a referee that's ever had more impact than Mike Tyson. Like, with all due respect to Ali, like they had they had like Mr. T and Hulk Hogan, Cyndi Lauper, like they loaded it, and Ali was part of it, of course. But like Tyson was the draw of the draw of the WrestleMania. Like he was. Yeah, he was the reason why people they want to see what the hell Mike Tyson's going to do. Yeah. Like, obviously, Austin was building, but they were smart. Like, we're going to, at the end of the night, we're going to have Mike Tyson and Steve Austin, holding hands at the end of the night. Like, that's smart business. Like, you could just tell by, the photographers that were around the ring, like, how many there were that people were interested in that. So I get the difference. But Muhammad Ali at 5, that's fair. I think for what he did, we do recognize his impact, though, I think. But I think I agree with that at 5.
His impact was greater than most, but not greater than these.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how this kind of lies with this particular list. I just think that, it went very, very, very short, but very sweet with Muhammad Ali. At number 4. I'm going Ken Shamrock at 4.
Ken Shamrock at 4. I think that's all right.
More active than Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
not as active as the top
presence
3.
Again. Yeah,
very big presence.
Again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's on this list because of his presence as a special guest referee.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. I'm fair with that. With Ken, I think that's a good spot for Ken.
At number 3, Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Can't go too high with that, man.
Shane O'Mac.
Shane O'Mac was great in a lot of different aspects. Like, he always seemed to kind of have a little bit up his sleeve. Like I say, he always had a little bit of a WrestleMania moment in him. Like, he always had that. Like, if it wasn't for, flying across the ring, trying to, drop kick people on a trash can or elbow drop people on the announcing table, Shane was doing it all. So I think that's kind of, where you see him ranking this particular type of list. So at number 2, I'm going Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Because, of course, the Knockout Herd World Round, it was just like the thing that everybody kind of knows. Like, if you never watched boxing, you still knew who Mike Tyson was. That's how dangerous that man was. He was one of the premier people on the planet. He could literally.
He's the biggest athlete. He was the biggest sports star in the world. Like,
nobody could do anything with him. Like,
and he's so controversial.
Person. Oh yeah, and of
Yeah,
course, when you have him in a place where controversy is literally driving the business, it's literally going to
yeah,
be one of the greatest things that you could ever do. Like, probably UFC is probably mad they didn't do it first. And that's just kind of how that goes. But at the same
uh,
time, I think Mike Tyson did wonders for WWE at that point because, of course, it brought a lot of boxing
did
viewers over a bit just to see that match.
yeah,
And then, of course, if they liked it, they stayed. If they didn't, they went back to boxing. And it was just kind of how that worked. But I would say Mike Tyson at two. Now, number one, of course, Shawn
yeah.
Michaels. We have to talk about the
Shawn
dog in the
Michaels.
corner. You got to talk about the dog in the corner. Like, he and Brett personally not liking each other, and him doing the match was crazy. Him being the special guest
Oh,
referee in other matches going forward, insane. I think him being a special guest referee in the Undertaker versus Triple H with the streak on the line, insane. Like, it wasn't
yeah,
nothing he could do. He wasn't stopping it. So I just feel like it wasn't just one performance for him. It was
yeah. It was
multiple.
multiple.
So
He was like, yeah, he's been like in he's been in so many guest referee spots. Like I always remember him, like I said, for Brett. That was just such a good spot, and it set up like a good series of matches with Michaels, um,
absolutely.
and Undertaker, which was fantastic. But like he was great with that Rock Triple H, with like with Undertaker Triple H, like so he was really really good. I mean, just like but just how he was as a ref, like he did everything to call it down the middle, and then just fucking swung the chair at the end, the whap. It was fantastic. What a finish! And but I agree. I think that's a fair list. I think he's the greatest guest referee of all time. I think he's the GOAT on
Absolutely.
that. I agree. So George, I mean, you got a winner there. I think that's a hell of a list. I think number one, Shawn Michaels, then Mike Tyson, Shane McMahon, Ken Shamrock, and the great Muhammad Ali. And your honorable mentions are Steve Austin, The Rock, Mick Foley, Mr. Perfect, and John Cena. Because you got to have the perfect referee.
You
You
gotta
can't have
have him.
yeah, got to have him somewhere.
You gotta have him somewhere. He's definitely the perfect referee.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, no,
but
I
George,
enjoy this list.
great list. And I mean, like there are other guys we didn't talk about. Jesse Ventura, he had a couple really high profile spots, but he didn't.
Mr.
He
T.
didn't do it.
You gotta throw Mr. T in there.
He was a referee in there a couple times.
One
Absolutely.
of my long down the list people, just because of the outfit, Sid Vicious. That shirt didn't cover
Oh
shit.
yeah, the shirt,
That shirt didn't cover shit. Like Sid,
the
you might as
top
well be
small tank
shirtless,
top.
man. Like I was like, bro, you too big for that. But that was
I loved it.
one of the times.
That's a good one too. Um, and I gotta give Roddy Piper did it a few times. He was
Bret
good.
Hart in WCW refereed one of the worst matches in the world because of how it went. Um, Sting versus Hogan at one point because
Oh
he had to run
yeah,
in.
that was a. But he didn't even ref that match. He was just like
He
he
ran
just
in
came
at the
in
end.
because the finish.
Yeah, so they
That was a
counted him
shit
as a
show. Like,
special guest
nobody knew what happened.
referee. Like, I
Well,
mean,
he
I don't
was
even.
with Bischoff and Flair. Remember though, that was
Yes,
it was
Bischoff
what
and
he originally
Flair
did.
was
Was I think no, or
hilarious.
was it Sabisco and Flair? It was Sabisco and Flair.
Larry
Sabisco and
Zbyszko.
Bischoff. What am I saying? Sabisco and Bischoff. Yes.
Yes,
He
he
was
did do
the
that match.
referee. I
He
think.
was special guest referee because
Yeah.
he was trying to. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
getting old.
No. But another one, James Douglas. He was the referee, the outside of the ring official. It was supposed to be Mike Tyson, but Mike got knocked out in Japan,
hmm
and so they had to call Buster Douglas, and be like, "Hey, do you want to appear on national television wrestling show?" And he's probably like, "Yeah, the money's good." And
Beating Mike
he
Tyson
showed up.
once got that man so much of anything in life. Because I guarantee
Have you
you, they
ever
would
watched
probably
the?
ask him if they'd ask him like what he did after that. It probably was like nothing as big as that. He probably wouldn't fight him again.
Yeah, did you? Well, I think Mike ended up going to jail, so I think that was what happened.
Yeah.
But did you ever watch his 30 for 30?
Who busted
42 to
Douglas?
1. Yeah.
No, I had no interest at that point.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, watch it. It's really good. It's really well done. And interesting story. Like 42 to 1 underdog.
I'm gonna see 42 to
Yeah.
1 underdog is crazy though, so I'll definitely take a. I mean, I feel the way about that fight. Everybody kind of feels the way about that fight. I think it was a long 8 count. That was the longest 8 count in America.
It was a long 8 count.
So, but you can't go back and
There,
change what happened in time.
there
I was
was
like,
that.
that motherfucker said,
But,
"Hey, bitch, hold on. 8 has never been that long in life." Like what? Like 8 is 1 digit.
It was like
not
The
9.
Rock was counting that shit. Like, hey, Shane McMahon and shit.
Man,
But, like,
count the fight, fam.
Yeah, but again, I think they didn't bring it this well because they didn't expect the fight to go but 2 seconds. Mike was, I think, probably well into strippers and all those other things at this point. So but I mean, look at Mike now. He's turned around. He's fighting. I mean, I wish him well. That's it. I wish Mike well. I mean, I think that his power will still carry for sure. Like he can knock most humans on the planet out. Like doesn't matter if he's 58 years old. If Mike Tyson walks up to 99.9% of the humans, he can knock them dead. But Jake's younger, strong, bigger, younger, a little bit bigger, stronger. I think if Mike can do it, potentially, if Mike can do it, I think he's got 2 rounds, and then I think that his cardio is going to be in question, and that's when Jake starts picking him. But if he can hit him on the chin, he'll definitely be able to knock him down because, I mean, but it's just he's 58 years old. Like it's in Jake Paul's. I don't even know how old Jake Paul is, but he's like, let's say he's 30, 32.
I don't think motherfuckers remember Mike Tyson just had a fight with Roy Jones. It sounded like he was, but that was the most recent thing he did, and he sounded like he was about to die then.
Yeah, but he did land a few shots on Roy.
Oh yeah, no, Roy was trying not to get killed.
There were some points where, but again, Roy is an older fellow too, though. I mean, this isn't. So
that's what I'm saying. Roy Jones was that, but of course that's not going to be Jake, and Jake is definitely going to be a much more spry, much more formidable opponent.
Absolutely, and I don't think Mike wins, but I think can he win? Yes, because Jake's not going to know more about boxing than Mike Tyson, because Mike's forgotten more about boxing, than Jake will probably ever know. But and Mike's got power. Mike can knock you out. The thing he can still get you is his punch. So we'll see if he is able to land either one. But credit to them though, man. They're making money off it, right? I hope Mike makes a mint. I hope Mike is making so much money off this thing. Because kudos to him. But it's. I
think Mike Tyson is one of those people who I feel like I always want to see him do good. I always want to see him be, great because it's Mike Tyson. I feel like he's a good guy. So, that's one of those things.
Yeah. Anyway, George, it was great to come back. We're gonna have to think of some more categories. Maybe have some more, things and have some
guests. For y'all. I got something cooking.
Yeah, we got some.
So we're gonna have some stuff in the next few weeks that'll probably be really, really nice for y'all to see. Maybe some special guests. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if we can get the right information moved. Of course, we can definitely kind of make sure things go as well as possible. But this show will always be entertaining. They'll always give you hard-hitting top fives that you can hang your hat on. And of course, if you don't want to hang your hat, I'll definitely talk my shit online. If you want to go to our Twitter, 5Count Pod. At 5Count, we just do it. Just add us, man.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you
Yeah.
guys sit up there and like critique our lists in silence, and then come back and be like, "Well, see, this is what you had wrong. It's your list. You can have that, but
Yeah.
that just didn't make mine." So I understand. Like, but no, I want y'all to come in. I want y'all to feel really good about talking wrestling with us. We definitely will have you on the show if you
Yeah.
want to. Ask and see what you
Yeah.
can get. Yeah, I'm willing to talk it with anybody. You bring the topic, I'll bring the argument. How about that? So, nah, but everybody come and see, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube if you're feeling it.
Yeah.
We are here every so often for a good time. So next time you see us, we're coming up with a really good topic for you, I'm sure.
Yeah. We
But at
got
the
some.
same time,
I got a couple good ones.
oh yeah, I got some questions that I'm gonna ask y'all. So I see on the Twitter polls and the Twitter posts that y'all say things. So we're gonna see exactly what y'all got for us. But of course, I'll put something out there for y'all. But now
Yeah.
it's getting late. I'm
Yeah. It's getting late.
I'm back at the work scene. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Me too. I
Oh,
gotta get.
by the way, I see this is how much um life is just life to me. Tomorrow is literally my birthday, and I haven't even thought about it.
Yes.
Like,
Happy birthday.
haven't even thought
Oh,
about it. So it's
hopefully
gonna definitely
tomorrow.
be something. It's like, it's just another day. Like I said, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, so it's really not gonna be that much of a celebration. My boss is probably not gonna let me off. She's probably gonna pat me on the back and say, "Get back to work." Tough. That's how that goes. But at the same
Well,
time, I'll live it up. I'll do something for it.
awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We're going to be out of here. Everyone have a good night.
Peace.